Just Hit Me Out podcast. My boy Flavor Flav couldn't make it today, but we gonna get him in here. But we got an interview today. He been asking to come on the show. Yes. He is definitely a man of interest. You know what I'm saying? A Dos Equis man, one of the most interesting men on the planet. Dos Equis. Yeah. So, my boy Justin, I've been knowing you for a long time, man. I mean, yes, sir. What's good, man? It's good to get you on the show finally.
Man, I know. It's cool, man. It's cool. I see what you've been doing. I love that, the authenticity that you bring, the realness of yourself and your ideas and how you view the world and things you like to do. It's a good time. So I'm glad to be on here. I definitely want to, because we've evolved. We both evolved a lot since we first met, where we was when we first met to where we are right now. So I think it's like, this is gonna be a good conversation, and also just catching up.
Yep,
because it's been a minute since I seen you.
Yeah, the last time we was is that thumbs up over some fried catfish. I think I had the fried. What you had? Did you have fried catfish?
We had the catfish grits and the pancakes.
Yep.
That was fire. And what's funny? Because how good it is based on location. Because the one you took me to, that one was fire, but I went to another one. I was like, okay, it was cool, but it wasn't like what we had.
Where? Which one other one you went to? Not the one here? Is there 3 of them?
There was one, what's that one on, what road is that? It's more in the city, because we went to the one that was, that was in the city too.
Yeah, they both, I mean, I don't know, I've only know of 2 of them, that one and the one over here by my house.
Man, maybe it wasn't thumbs up. Nah, I know I did, because I went with, I took somebody there.
Yeah.
And I was talking about, I was like, man, when me and Donald went, I was like, bro, that catfish and the way that them pancakes was hitting, that was different.
Okay, Barry, you got to pull it. You might have to pull it, because I'm listening to you. You got to come through. You're gonna come through low when I have to edit.
So, see, I got,
pull it up.
I got that low voice.
You might have to be one of them guys who be on the stage who put the microphone on their chin when they talk. I'm just playing. Don't do it.
DJ Easy Dick.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, I can give you a podcast. I mean, we can give you a late night hour podcast. I can do it for you.
Do a late night one?
Yeah, I'm in right now.
I'm getting into some topics right there.
I'm trying to be in my Tyler Perry early Tyler Perry production mode, where I'm just spitting out podcasts.
Right.
Until everybody know my name. So I can give you one. Shoes, and I mean the way you was talking before I turned this mic on, the ladies gonna love you. Now your girl might hate you, because you know what I'm saying, you talking saucy to everybody.
Well.
I mean, but till them ducats come in, then she gonna be like, baby, you need to say this to them. They gonna love it when you say that.
Well, we won't get into all that.
So man, it's good to have you back on the show, man. It's good to have you back. Well, it's good to have you. Good to see you again. That's what I need to say. It's good to see you again.
It's good to come through and see the fam, and
just finally get you on the show, man.
For real.
Speaking of fam, how your fam doing? How the fam doing? How everybody doing?
Everybody's doing great, man. It's crazy, because I mean, all mine are really grown. So like my youngest, Kanan, he's 20. He got his own little spot now.
Dang, that's nice, bro.
And he live off Centennial. So you can see from his window
how much his rent is.
Well, that Atlanta rent. So he's over 2. He's over $2,000 a month.
Wow.
So he over that. So I don't know what exactly it is, but I know it's over that. I mean, even where I'm at, I'm in Cobb County, and it's I'm paying about 19 something.
Dang, bro.
For my spot, 2-bedroom.
You don't ever want to live in the city, because you can live in the city now if you gonna pay that.
I could, and I thought about that. You know what's funny? Because my daughter's down there too, so she like 7 minutes away from her brother.
Oh, yep, Cherry.
So, Cherry Kai.
Yep.
Follow her on Instagram, TikTok. They're influencers. That's how they've been able to do it. That's how they've been able to make the moves they've been able to make, because of the success they've had through social media.
I need to get with them.
Yes, you should put them on for real. They would love.
Would they come on?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
They my kids down to earth. They ain't,
Yeah, I mean,
they trying to make moves and stuff, but no.
Looking at you and your mom, you and Heather, y'all both down to earth. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So they she lives on the 29th floor and got right below the penthouse, and got the Gotham City view in her spot. So me visiting her and then visiting Kanan, I'm like, I don't want to live down here. There was a time when I was younger, I was like, yo, I want to have a loft in the city. But bro, maneuvering down there, I'm like, man, that would get old to me.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. So today, I got a hotel in the city because I want that view. Cause I ain't never had it, so I got a hotel room up there just so I can know what it's like to be up above and have that view.
It's cool. It is cool, but like living there, I don't know, man. I think I just got old. I think that's what it is. I got old.
Do they got a dumb waiter? I mean, because the groceries, getting them groceries that's gonna be the only problem.
And you know what makes me mad? So like her building, she don't even get no guest parking spots. So you paying per hour just to go visit.
Dang.
And then Canaan's, because of people, the people working in the offices, they ain't paying attention. So the first time we went to visit Canaan's spot, a couple people's cars got booted. After he told them when everybody got there, and put the license plates in, they have you put it in the app and all that. He told them like, look, I got people visiting. Here's the plates, put it all in there. Still went down there and got booted. See, I parked outside the building though.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, I ain't trying to wait around.
For them to come,
they come quick and then come late to take it off.
So did the people take care of it?
Yeah, they did. But see, you got young people working these desks and they ain't gonna.
Yeah, they ain't in no rush.
They on their phones and all that.
They make 2 posts, respond to 3 texts.
Exactly.
Make a call real quick. Check their email.
And they done rolled up and booted people like, oh, these ain't reported. And that's what happens. So but then Kyra's spot, shoot, you won't get no guests. So you paying per hour just to visit. And I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
But her other spot, so this is her second spot in the city. She used to live off Druid Hills, and they would at least give you where you can park on the top. And as long as she put it in the app, nobody had to pay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, good. She got an app.
But this new spot, though, she been there for over a year. No, there ain't no guest parking.
Do they got an app?
Yeah, they do. She got to put everybody's plate in there.
Okay.
But then you still got to pay the per hour parking, you going somewhere.
So then the other one though, you could put it in the app and you didn't have to pay.
Right.
Right. Yeah, parking is crazy, bro. I never really even got a real taste of parking until parking outside of Atlanta, because Atlanta it costs. But we went to New Orleans, bro, for the Saints game, bro. Everywhere you go, you had to pay, and it wasn't cheap because over here, the last time I think it was like $20 in the New Orleans. $30, $40.
Now, now when I went to a football game, and them churches that's right by the churches, they know what to do. It's $50 because it's right there.
Oh, by Mercedes. Yeah,
the church be like $50 to be out there in front with the suits on and stuff. $50, bro. Like, man, that's that tithe and offerings for those who didn't pay this week. We gonna make sure we cover that for the game this week. I fool around, just go to church. Why don't they just go to church and then leave your car in the parking lot? Pay less, just paying tithes.
Wait. I wonder if you got to pay then to go to church because if the game is on Sunday, you know what I'm saying. And then if it's a 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock game, you can go to church.
So, but that's when they letting out early. Like y'all need to they letting that out. They probably gonna let out
they
early.
Probably kicking
See,
you
I don't
out.
know. I ain't been in some years.
Wow.
But I'm just guessing because you know how we do.
Yeah,
we gonna capitalize and we gonna be like, look, we gonna get ours because look, you built the thing in our neighborhood and did you taxing us? Arthur Blank and city of Atlanta.
Yeah,
we see what's happening. So Negroes gonna get theirs on the back end.
Yeah,
and we should. We should.
Yeah. No, yeah. You're right. You're right, man. Should. You're right. So, what was I gonna say? So let's jump right into, because I got some good questions. Okay. I did my homework. I really wasn't much homework to do on you. We've been knowing each other for a minute.
This is like a catch up.
Yeah.
And so the questions, I wasn't even thinking nothing. I was like, you know what? Whatever he bring, let's get into it. There's very, very few things, if anything, I won't speak on. Yep. So I'm willing to speak on, whatever.
All right. So what? So we gonna start off then. What you been doing lately? What like as far as what's been taking up your free time, hobby wise?
Man, it's interesting you say that. So like this week started something new. So it's not really new, but it's been more of a personal challenge. So,
and how old are you again?
43.
Okay, we the same age.
Yeah. I'll be 44 in October.
All right. Yeah. I'll be 44 in November.
So, okay, well, let me backtrack. I know you asked me about the family and all that, so let me go ahead and put that out there. So I got three children of my own. Oldest son is 25. He got 3 children of his own, so I'm a grandfather.
God, Lee, you got me too, and I can't wait for some grandkids.
So I got a grandson who's 3, Drayden. Alea is 2, and then Bryson just was born on February 1st.
Now, how old is this son?
Kobe is 25.
Dang, boy, Kobe 25.
Kobe's 25. That's my oldest. So he moved back to Indiana back in 2018.
Yeah.
You know, of course, as a parent, it's like, look, go up there, you know, get your balance, do what you need to do, but then come back because we raised you here.
Right.
Come back because there ain't much up there where we was from.
Right.
That's a whole nother podcast that we can get into talking about all that.
Yeah, we definitely can.
But we was like, come back because there's more opportunity here and you can expand yourself here. That's why we moved here. And then Kyra's 23. She doing her thing. Big on social media, you know, big to where YSL invited her out to Morocco. This was in 22.
Really?
And she took me along with her. So that was my first time in the motherland and got to see Morocco, and it was beautiful. And then Kanan just turned 20, January 26th this year. And he got his own spot. And the beautiful thing too is that they blessed us.
Kanan just turned 23?
Just 20.
Just 20.
20. Yeah, he's the youngest.
Youngest. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm doing the real raising Kanan.
Yeah.
The real raising Kanan. Yeah,
you are.
Raising Kanan. Yeah, it's been real. So he, he's doing his thing, and he's got a clothing brand called Mainline. And it's a dope clothing brand. Kyra's promotions and working with big companies, whether she gets given clothes and things. She don't have to buy nothing really. When it comes to like her style and all that, she ain't got to buy nothing. Brands be sending her stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nah, no doubt.
She's, and she's been like that since, I mean, we used to take pictures of her before school since middle school.
Yeah.
She would have her fit. And,
she fashionable, and she got the foreign look.
Yes, she does.
So that makes
but she stays rooted too. She stays rooted.
Yeah. I mean, I told you, she y'all child.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all down to earth. So you ain't gonna do nothing but produce something that's down to earth.
So for me, I fasted from some things starting this week. So I'm on a personal challenge to level up, just to level up overall. Try to get direction, get downloads, vision. So it took me taking some things out that, are dopamine, things that spike your dopamine, or things that help you tolerate the day to day and all that. So like, I'm not real busy. I got to make myself busy versus the old me. When we met, I was working a job, and actually I was working overnight.
Yeah. You were doing a lot.
I was raising the family, all that. And then things started to evolve around 2015 when, me and Heather went our separate ways, and we're growing up on our own. So it was like one of those things that now that I have all this time and I have like my different forms of income to where it doesn't require me to like put in all this hard work. So now I can just kind of build things and expand on things and create.
Yep.
It's more of like, how deep are you going to go with your training? How deep are you going to go learning about who you are and your purpose in this life? So fasted from green, weed, cannabis.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking green like greens, like veggies.
No, well, yeah, it is that veggies. That cornbread.
No, I think he's on a carnivore diet.
Nah. Well, I mean, I cut out sweets as well, caffeine, just things that I would rely on to like give me that lift at different points during the day.
Yep.
So it's more of me trying to get to more of my raw self. Like, draw that energy from yourself, training multiple times a day, not just that once a day. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. I got a good workout in. Nah, you going training 2-3 times a day, doing various things from martial arts to weights to doing breath work to qigong, however you call it, spiritual things to enhance spiritually, mentally, and physically. So what I'm about to do on the 18th through the 21st, I'm going out to Las Vegas. On the 19th is the spring equinox. So technically that's the true new year, because that's when spring starts. That's when everything starts to grow back. We get taught, New Year's January 1st. We're going into the new year. We're going to celebrate, but that's just based on work, society, and industry. That's not on the natural order.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
I'm trying to tap into those portals out there in Vegas.
You trying to tap into what?
those portals out there, that energy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I want to be open and clear. I want actually celibate too. Doing that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying. I cut everything, bro.
That's no streak for me.
I'm trying to hold my energy and preserve
you trying to
that.
be mad all the time. Is what you trying to be walking around ready to bust a mofo upside the head.
It's been a week, bro. It's been a week.
I
know they've been that.
I'm thinking you out here like for months.
Nah, not yet. I think it's going to end up being that. I think it's going to end up probably being that. I'm just focused on.
Yeah, but you want that? No, if you head down that path, just get married again. I mean, that's going to automatically.
Nah.
I mean, in the beginning, it might be a struggle.
Nah. I already done lived that life.
I know it,
and that's what's been challenging with relationships that I have had is because
they be looking for something.
I've already lived that, so for me to go back and then me, ascending as my being is ascending, and I'm learning more about me and just everything, the cosmos, everything, ancestors, deities, all that. It's hard for me to go back and just wear a title of, all right, you're your husband again, or you're a father again. And it's like I still am a father, always going to be a father.
Yeah, right.
But from the standpoint of just wearing these titles because this is what society does, this is what humans are supposed to do. I feel like there's more for me to give my children going forward versus just, all right, guys, well, what are you doing today? Or what do you guys, what's your goals and trying to do this? Yeah, you talk about all that stuff, but it's like I'm tapping into them really finding themselves earlier than what I did, because I just
that's a serious thing. That's a serious. But let's go back. Let's go back, and we're gonna come back to that because I want to talk about maturing because I feel like I didn't really start till after 40, for real after 40, to starting to know myself and know what I want. But you kind of grazed across dating now. How is that now at 40, and now how is it after marriage? How do you find yourself, because I know you said you're pretty much done with being married.
Yes.
Do you find it hard to date? You know what I mean? Because women tend to want to get into a relationship and they looking for it to turn into some form of security, into some obvious security, not we good. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They like, what it ring at? You know what I'm talking about? What is this real full commitment at? How do you navigate that? Because I'm sure you running into that. Unless you just I'm not even dating. I'm just out here, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Smash and dash.
It's nah. I mean, there's been seasons of that years ago. There was some seasons. So I kind of been able to, I guess you could say, live in that post high school, college, enter into adulthood life. I started around 34, 35 versus me doing that at 18 to about 25.
Oh, because you see, and that is why we get along. I forgot. Y'all got married early.
So remember, you going back what I said, I got 3 grandbabies.
Yeah.
25, and then 3 kids, 25, 23, and 20. So that means with me being 43, Kobe came when I was a senior in high school.
I forgot.
And
you started way even earlier than me.
Yeah, then 18 months later, Kyra came. I was a freshman in college.
Dang.
So
so you missed all the fun you should have been having between 18 and 25. Well, I concur. I am with you. I moved out and it took me a little longer to get married, but I was steeped off in the church, which that's another topic we gonna get on. And because I was in the church, I still was limited in what I really was tasting and seeing. You know what I'm saying? Because of,
taste to see.
Yeah, I mean, because of, just my upbringing. So yeah.
Absolutely. So then Kyra was born May 29th, 2000. I got married June 24th, 2000. So I was 19 years old.
When you got married, you were 3 years older than me. 3 years younger than me.
So then,
how old was Heather?
Same age, 19.
Yeah.
So we were married for 15 years. And, the beautiful thing is that, we were able to evolve and still co-parent to this day.
Yeah.
After that, still have a good bond.
Well, that's good.
Still have, a dynamic to where, the kids understand, and it was work. It was work, that transition, because they had to, you in our society, we're just used to things being the way it's supposed to, what we're told is supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
Like my parents are still together, which is great. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a generational thing. I think it's going to change over time. Mm-hmm. The different generations, they're going to do this relationship thing, partnership thing differently. Yeah. A lot differently, because there's just too much we're exposed to now.
Yep.
We're moving so fast. Time's moving faster.
Yeah.
So it ain't like the same where you just that same 24 hours ain't the same.
Right. And I wonder though, if it hurts us in a way, because I was thinking about it maybe last week or earlier this week. Excuse me, but you'll hear people say how social media done got the whole game messed up. You know what I'm saying?
You think about even before social media, the phone, period, having access to communicate, not just across the city, but across the state, across the world. Oh, yeah, and before we even got to social media, just being able to text, call, and you're like, dang, and it's always on you.
Ooh, you're right, because you make a good point, because even before social media, you still can send pictures, you still can text.
And how do we meet? Message boards.
Yep, message boards. Before iPhones. Still message boards. Matter of fact, I'm in Atlanta. We are in Atlanta at least half because of them same message boards.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. And without the phone,
and then
because you're not finna talk to nobody. You really not finna be around nobody but your people at your house, the people in your small neighborhood or village, and the people at the grocery store, and that's it. You're not finna meet nobody else. And ain't nobody else to meet and see.
Exactly, and that's if you are transient in your life. If you're not able to move around and experience other places. I mean, I'm from Indiana, so I was from a small town. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we think about an hour drive, 30-minute drive here. We're like, man, that ain't nothing, man. We just go do that, and it ain't nothing.
Yeah.
But it didn't come to my mind. Like, my mind was, it only went so far because I was only raised in this small place. But then 30 minutes, an hour away, you got Indianapolis, I got Dayton, I got Cincinnati. I got all these places I could have went to found more of us and more variety. But I just didn't, whether it was a confidence thing or just didn't know.
You could take that idea and put that into the difference between church and outside of the church. You know what I'm saying? Because you inside the church, you're not finna meet as many people, and you're not. And if you meet as many people, you're not finna meet as many ideas and ways of thought and ways of living, ways of doing things, which to my thinking, you're gonna miss some of the benefits, because there are benefits outside the church that the church not gonna tell you, because skating that close, because in order for them to be able to tell you, they're gonna have to skate close to calamity or close to sin or close to the appearance of evil in order to tell you. I mean, for one is an easy example, drinking,
and it's based on whose ideologies.
Yep, because drinking is one.
Whose dogma.
Yep. Because drinking is amazing and is beneficial if used properly. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it can be abused, but it brings about a good feeling. You don't know how sometimes a lot of people deal with, I can't go to sleep at night. Well, hey, your little nightcap. A little nightcap gonna tone you down. I mean, you could go and try melatonin, and you probably got some stuff on you finna bring out to show you. But alcohol will be one of them, an easy one. Everybody does it. You know what I'm saying? I say everybody.
I mean, there's other countries and cultures that have, you drinking at like, what, 12, 13? I mean, because they're taught like, okay, this is part of our culture, but it's not taught like, well, whether it's sin or the law says, you got to be this age to do it. So then
a lot of parties, what they can't find where the Bible will literally touch on it, they'll generalize in the appearance of.
Yes.
Because now everything appears to be sin.
Because you think about sex. Because like you're saying, like, alcohol. So let's look at it from a social. I'll go here real quick before we go to sex. Alcohol socially, you do got to get a grip on it personally. Everybody should, because if you think about everything socially that we do, there's a drink. Oh, we need to get a drink. We're going to do the duck bowling, or going to the arcade. We getting a drink. We're going to go play pool. We getting a drink.
Yep.
We're going to go watch the fights. We getting a drink.
Eat some wings, get a drink.
So then for me, it's like alcohol is not really that big of a deal to me, but I did find myself like, all right, yeah, I'm going to get a little drink. So then I became more over time over the, it wasn't like this thing I had to drink so much per day, but just in these social settings, I'm having to drink.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now that's true.
So it was more for me with weed. It was like not just in the social settings, but then personally, because that helped raise my consciousness. Was when I started smoking weed. I didn't start smoking weed till 2015. So I was 35. I was an adult.
Yeah. I didn't start drinking till I was 35.
Wow. See, I took, I think my first drink like at 21 because I turned 21. I was like, I'm going to go ahead but it wasn't nothing that stuck to where I drank.
See, I was in Alabama when I turned 21 and I was working at Subway, which was right across the street from a club. And I said that to myself, but then I never did go. I was like, I'm 21. I'm going to go across the street and go in that bar and give me something to drink.
So have you asked yourself why we held these certain things?
Well, so for me, wait, why? I'm sorry, let me let you finish your question all the way. Or was that it?
Well, no, that was a question. Like, have you asked yourself why you held these certain, like, man, I don't know, I shouldn't, I'm not going to do that, or maybe I'll wait till of age, or maybe I won't do it because, how it's looked at.
Well, so when it comes to substances, whether it be alcohol or weed, I am very much a control freak. And not control as in I want to control you. I just want to control me.
Yes.
And so growing up, my dad, before he got saved and he changed and he became the man that he is today, and I love him for it. He was an alcoholic and he abused my mom off the alcohol. So seeing that made me say, okay, I don't know what is, and I already in elementary school, and I don't even know how I'm not like that today, but I used to be a wild, meaning, and I there's still some parts of that like, and I'm getting too deep with it, but let me say this: there's buttons that I know can be pushed. They can be pushed, but I don't know anybody that can push them now because I buried that part. There's a place where I'll go, and then I can be self-destructive. I can be self-destructive. I mean, I would destroy the whole room and everybody in it and myself. I don't care.
Right.
But that was in elementary school. And once I seen my dad was drinking, and once I seen what my dad would do when we was drinking, I was like, okay, well, I can't do that. I don't want to do that because look at my dad. And I add that to who I knew I was in elementary school when I was a youngster. I don't want that. I don't want that. And so I didn't. And so I like to control myself. And then the other part of it was the people that I was around didn't do it because I was deep in church. I was at the Bible studies. I was at the church camps. I was leading the Bible studies. I was giving messages and in a concordance and in my Bible and seeing what the words mean and breaking them down and trying to change people for Jesus or trying to get people to see, that Jesus is real and how to come to Christ. And I was so deep in it. I didn't really care about drinking, and I never judged people who did. And to this day, I don't judge people who do things that I don't do. Homosexuality, all that stuff. I don't judge them. Hey, that's your life. You do what you want to do. I don't care. That's not what I want to do. But if you love it, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it for you. Right. But I just never wanted to try it. It was never anything appeasing to me. The way they got me at 35 is when I moved to Atlanta, the people at the church that I go to, they drank and didn't have a problem with drinking. And one of the homeboys I made a friend with, he would ride around and he would have liquor in his car. So he came to the house kicking it with me, and he was like, I got some drink, you want to try? And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm a social guy. You want to get me to do some stuff that's outside of what I would normally do? I just really need to be around people that's going to do it. And if I don't feel any ways bad about it or why I shouldn't do it, then I don't care. Yeah, let's try it. I'm not opposed to anything. I want to see what's good out here. So I tried to drink. And he came out with Genesis first. That was the first thing I drank. A Guinness. Dark. Yeah.
He got you a stout.
Stout? But when I tell you he liked to drink, he was determined to find something I could drink. Eventually, we worked our way to Smirnoff Ice, green apple. And that was Kool-Aid. And my name is Snacks.
You went from a stout to I guess that's a good start. Because, I started with those too. Because I didn't... See, for me, it was like... The reason why I stayed away from stuff when I was young, because, I had a son at 18. And my dad being a cop.
Okay.
So I was like, I ain't trying to get no more trouble.
Yeah.
So I was like, and plus with the church thing too.
Yep.
All that, the things you're taught
Yeah.
about these things. So it just, I was always indifferent to, like, I was around weed and stuff, was in rooms where people were smoking and stuff, and maybe got a little contact, but I didn't even really know the depths of it.
Right.
And even the alcohol, around people drinking and stuff, getting drunk. But I was just like, no, I'm good. Just give me some water and just something else. But then over the years,
my family's big on both sides. I got plenty of uncles and aunts, and they reunions, they drinking and fighting, literally. So it was always around. I just was like, ain't for me.
Right. And then with church, it was just like, do you do anything else? And then you're under the guise of like, what does God think?
Yep.
And all that. So I just stayed away from stuff. But then, as like you said, as we got older, you want to try things. You're an adult. You feel like you got control. And I think that time that we didn't do it allowed us to kind of be like, all right, we'll see what's the limit? What's kind of our limits and our parameters with this? Because it's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I need to be able to get home.
Yeah.
I need to be able to control what's going on. I ain't letting nobody be taking advantage of me being all messed up and all that. No. That's why I'm very limited on things that I've tried. Like I've only, if you want to say things that will change your state of being, it's only been weed, alcohol, and mushrooms.
See, I want to try mushrooms.
Nothing else.
I still want to try mushrooms. I've tried weed plenty of times. I done hit the blunt with the homies a couple times. It's nasty. Every time I hit it, it's nasty. I can't.
It's not for everybody.
It's great feeling. It's nasty in my throat. It scratches my throat. I don't like it. I've tried edibles a couple times. The only time I ever felt anything, I had mixed it with the alcohol, so that was a terrible experience. It was in Las Vegas.
Well, you didn't have good
in the
edibles.
middle of the day.
Well, you didn't have good edibles.
I bought it in Vegas. Can you buy bad?
Well, what did you have? Let's.
It was a gummy, but you're not gonna get me to remember exactly what it was.
So it may have been 50 and 100 milligrams, which that's not, and you might have a natural higher tolerance.
And maybe so. I mean, I am fat, so I don't know if does that make a difference. Do you need more weed the heavier you are?
No. Because it's interesting. Because there's people I know of all different shapes and sizes, and it just affects them differently. Some just are like, I don't like, because it makes me have to really think about me.
See, and I want that.
Some people don't want that because they're already over analytical with everything else. So then when it's like it's on them about them, when that raises that consciousness up and they're like in their own mind about themselves, they don't want that.
I want that,
and I think people should want that.
That's what I miss in relationships. People who could tell me about.
But your source to getting to that may not need to be a substance. Or, well, let's say substance. I like saying they're plants. Is this what the earth provides?
That's kind of what I miss about church too. Oh, go ahead.
It's what the earth provides. Because I think when people are like, oh, this is drugs, or they say substance and all this. I mean, when I hear substance or drugs, I feel like that's man-made. That's why I've only stayed with mushrooms and weed, because there's other things out there that's man's made that can give you the psychoactive effects or get you high or get you somewhere.
So let me ask you this. I seen you was in Costa Rica. Have you ever tried ayahuasca? Do you want to try ayahuasca?
I haven't been led. I feel like when it came to the mushrooms, I was led to that. So when it comes to other entheogens, so the entheogens are other, I guess you could say psychedelic plants, or you might as well just say things and substances and stuff that people synthetically make as well that alter your being.
Yeah.
So other entheogens I haven't been led to, because I know, have you heard of ibogaine or Ebo? I think it's ibogaine.
I heard of Ebola. Ebola. No, that's not even the same.
What is that, a disease? That's a disease.
Ebola is a disease.
Or that's a virus, ain't it?
Yeah, I thought it was something for like cough medicine.
That's Ricola. You said Ebola. You talking about you said Ebola, like
Ebola.
Thinking about having Ebola virus. Nah, that's Ricola.
Yeah, I know.
Ricola.
I know, I'm teasing.
But the ibogaine is like African too, and that's more native to Africa. And it's like I haven't been led to that, but I've seen where people have taken that and it's taken away addiction within 24 hours.
Oh yeah,
but I haven't been led to that. So then ayahuasca, same thing, and I think some of it is because what it puts you through to get there. I've watched people, well, I haven't watched in person, but I watched videos of people's, they're purging hard purge, both ends. After crazy. They take it, and this is after
almost enough to make me not want to do it.
Exactly, and this is after they prepare. So the preparation, they tell you. So
you're not supposed to eat.
I think that whole thing has become more commodified, and I'll say commodified and colonized.
Of course.
Because I really feel like
anything
you
popular,
should be led to these.
Tag on it.
Yeah, you should be led to these things because they should be reaching your spirit to say, hey, I can show you a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And because even how mushrooms came across my path, it wasn't something I was looking for. Weed I wasn't really looking for. I'll tell you the story. When I first started smoking weed, the reason why I did this when me and Heather were still married, Heather went back to school. And she was like, with all this, with work, school and all that, I'm gonna go ahead. And I was like, okay, I was just always indifferent to it anyway. And when I started smoking, I was like, man, why didn't I try this in between these years? But it was because we was under church. We was youth pastors and all that.
Yep.
So then you're just like, we didn't say like didn't view it as bad or something like that. It was just we were indifferent to it. Like, nah, that's just not. Mm-hmm. So when I got to it, I was like, it was New Year's Eve going into 2015. Mm-hmm. And she had something. I was like, all right, the kids they stayed with mom and dad back in Indiana because we went there for Christmas. We left them there because they get that extra week of off being from school. So we left them there. So we came back home. Yeah. It was all right, we're just going to get like a week with just us. Mm-hmm. So New Year's Eve, 2015, first time I smoked weed.
Yeah.
And then from there, and it wasn't like I just went in. Uh-huh. It was more of I looked at it as a supplement because I was in the mode of really transforming my body. I was training hard. I was getting into being a trainer.
Oh, so were you looking at it like it's going to help me to recover?
Yeah. So as I was listening to these different bodybuilders from Arnold to all the old guys and even the new generation, they were like, look, we smoke before workout because the mind muscle connection. Yeah. So then that was the only time that I smoked was before I worked out.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first kind of got started, we kind of kept it from the kids because, even though they weren't under hard teaching, like, no, we don't do this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like we all sense certain things that like, well, I don't know if that aligns with, what we're supposed to be doing. Even the kids were like, they just had a sense of like, I don't know if that aligns with what we're supposed to be doing because we were under that.
Mine do kind of like that too. Whenever when I started to pull away from the church, maybe, but I mean, I was like, but I've always been a parent that if it's good for the geese, it's good for the gander. I don't really ever do anything that I'm finna tell the kids that they can't do. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna let you do it if I'm doing it. I mean, even down to drinking it. I mean, and my podcast is small, so I'm probably. And then not only that, I let the kids try whatever I'm trying. So if I'm drinking something, I'm gonna let you try it. I'll always to this day. If I pour a drink and it's some alcohol, I might be like, Maya, you want to taste? You want to try it? And
see, we the hybrid parents of the old school. Because the old school generation did that. Yeah. Like, here, go ahead, get you some of this.
Yeah, so whether you like it. Matter of fact, it's a test. You don't even realize I'm testing your ass, really.
Exactly.
Because I'm finna see if you talk about you love it and it's good. Okay, I need to keep an eye on you then.
Exactly.
As long as you talk about it's nasty.
We're the hybrid because we'll explain like what they didn't explain to us. Mm-hmm. They were just like, here, you can try this, but then they weren't going to tell you like, explain to you what the benefits for them and all this because they was, out of our presence, they was probably doing a little bit more to what we thought.
Right.
See, our generation, we're like, all right, we don't mind if y'all try this, but we need to understand, and we explain to them so they can try to understand, overstand.
Yeah.
What this is for. It ain't just out here being wild.
Yeah.
So this can help you tolerate or enhance your existence here or whatever. You know what I mean? You may need a little relaxed state or you may need get a little bit up on tequila or something like that, to enjoy the party a little bit more or whatever. Or you may need hit the blunt a couple times to kind of chill out and open your mind a little bit. But, again, it was a supplement for me starting off.
Yeah.
And then over time, I eventually became a chiefer. Somebody who was chiefing all the time. Mm-hmm. And
would you say you was abusing it?
No, but for me,
and I'm asking, me, I ain't judging.
I say no, but for me personally, this is why this is part of my fast because where I've gotten to with it, the relationship I've gotten to with it is, I don't want to depend on it for that to give me that spike in the day. Oh, I feel.
Okay. So you saying it's just like coffee? Yeah. I'm trying to quit coffee because I don't want to use it to.
Yes.
To give me energy in the middle of the day. Yeah.
Yes.
I got you.
And sometimes too, you like as you go for so long, you kind of get used to this certain cycle of how your day goes, because the benefits outweigh the negatives. It really comes down to discipline, and it's the same thing with like sweets. The same thing with you having that glass of wine at night.
Same thing with the coffee.
Yeah. Because and even with energy drinks.
Yes, and I'm crazy with energy drinks. I love it.
And see, you do coffee and energy drinks. See, I got to where
my system probably out of whack.
See, that's You got to check them adrenals. You got to check those adrenals.
They shot through because
you may need about 3 cups of coffee before you feel that energy, and it's like, you shouldn't need 3.
Well, yeah. I'm on an eating thing right now, and so I'm currently changing what I'm eating by adding more vegetables and trying to increase my protein, which is by nature and age, which is we got to get back to that because I'm 40 or because I'm 40. I'm over 40.
Yep.
I'm naturally eating less. Even the good stuff. Man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get me a big burger and the fry, but I'm not finished. I'm not finna finish the burger. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, dog. There was a time.
Yeah, but it's a mixture because I'm satiated before full, because to me you reach satiation before you get full. So I'm satiated before full, and I don't want to get up from the table feeling like dang, and I'm so scared of that.
So
and because of that and vegetables and protein, I'm eating less carbs, which is beneficial for me. But
see, that's where again. So if I'm going to say the things that I need to control when it comes to weed is, you're going to go to the things that make you feel the best.
Yeah.
So I'm having too much sugar. I'm enjoying desserts too much.
Yeah.
I'm still getting good meals in, but then I'm also getting some meals that may be too much fat, too good meals in there.
Yeah.
Versus I need to have meals that are a little more, like you said, more dense nutrition wise.
Yes.
Versus, all right, it got some nutrition there, but boy, that fat that's in there and that fries and that burger, and I love burgers. That's my favorite thing. So, and then even just the amount of meat. It's one of those things where, I'm not one of those that's like, oh, well, you shouldn't eat meat and all that. But I do hear and I do take heed to the science, especially when it comes to various groups of people. Because like for us, we probably should be having more vegetables, a lot more vegetables. But see, we've been conditioned to where we can't think of having a meal without some kind of meat.
Right. Oh, I can't. I'm definitely.
And even if I've done mushrooms in all kinds of ways, other mushrooms. The non-psychedelic mushrooms, cooked them in all different ways. And that's the interesting thing about the mushroom kingdom, which I feel they're deities. They're not just another plant. They're something else. The mycelium was here before the green life. It came from somewhere else because that is what helped nourish the planet. That's what helped evolve the plant species. It helped evolve the animal.
Mycelium?
So mycelium is you could say it's the network of the planet. The internet is based on mycelium. The mycelium network is underground, so it's in the root system. It's a whole system. So you think about if this planet was rock and what you say bacteria and I'm not a scientist, so I'm kind of giving a rough what I've learned. You needed something to evolve that. So you got to think animals eating the grass that's rooted, the trees that's rooted. You have all this root system with the mycelia. See, the mushrooms that come up, that's the end/beginning of their cycle, the mycelium cycle. So what we get is like, oh,
is that a physical substance? Or are you talking spiritually?
No, it's physical. Yeah. Because so when you look at
is that the same thing when they tell you to take them psyllium husk pills?
No, that's that's a fiber.
Oh, okay.
That's psyllium husk. This is mycelium.
Oh, okay.
Not psyllium. PS. Wait, you how you spell it?
PSY.
Psyllium husk. Yes.
Yeah.
Mycelium. MyCellium. I think that's how you spell it.
What do you find it in? What is it?
So it's in the ground.
It's not fiber.
It's in the ground. That's what the mushroom truly is. It's in the mycelium network. The cap that comes up, that's the physical representation of what's nourishing everything on this planet.
Okay.
And so that's why you'll have, like, for instance, I got like to hike on Kennesaw Mountain, and I can go hike up there and find all types of species. If I go after it's had the cycle of weather, if it's rained, dried out, and the sun's come up, I can go up there and hike and find all kinds of stuff. I used to bring them home, put them in my plants, and it would enhance my plants. Oh. Because it's like they only last so long when they come out as the cap before they decompose and go back into start a whole nother cycle again.
Okay, all right. You make sense.
So when I would find them, I put them in my plants. They would eventually go down. My plants, they're like, thank you. They're more enhanced. So I did that for a while. I observed and just learned that way on top of, reading some things as well. But I just was like, let me observe like what they do. So when I would go hike, I would notice like they don't like too much brush and all that stuff all on them. Mm-hmm. There's got to be some water that's got to be able to get to them. Yeah. Then they got to have a little bit of a canopy, almost like have a little crib. So whether it's way up here to where they have some shade, because if they're directly in the sun, that's just too much. Right. But they got to be able to have some sun. So I just was like, dang. And then when I started noticing that, it's like they would just appear. Like I found joints, big joints, plate size joints, all different. And I would like,
I've seen the big joints before.
Bring them home. Chocolate ones, red ones, orange, blue. Crazy colors.
What you would do? You would cook them and eat them?
No, and the reason why I didn't do that.
I was going to say, because I'd be scared that one hour I fool around and eat something that's poison.
Yes, because I'm not a mycologist. Yeah. So I do not know species like that. Now, I could have spent time, studied, learned, but I would ask some of my wizards, my other mycologist friends.
Wizards?
I call them wizards because that's who I have two guys I get my mushrooms from because their intentions and their cultivation. Because, there was a time when
why are they wizards? Do they know magic?
In a way. Yeah. In a way. They're in tune with the mushrooms. Okay, well, so first off, so you already said that you don't eat the mushrooms because that was going to be one of the questions I was going to ask. Not the ones in the wild,
and how they doing in the ground. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like they might be fine to eat. Then it's going to help you grow.
If you know which ones to eat, yeah.
Now the other thing I'm saying is these magicians. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. Can they help me level up? Because I'm like, bro.
So see.
You want I can't tell if you for real or for fake because I'm joking for real. So you know what Baldur's Gate 3 is, right?
I never played it, but I know what you're talking
about. Video game, but it's Dungeons and Dragons.
It's RPG.
But if they magic though, they still be like, you got to.
If you pay attention to anime, RPGs and stuff, and you be like, all right, what are the things like? I'll tell you one that was real upfront with it. Mm-hmm. Did you ever watch Vinland Saga? Have you heard of it? The anime.
Yeah, that's the like the Norse, the Viking guys. I didn't watch it. My homeboy watched it, and I keep saying it must have been pretty popular because anytime I would open up Netflix, it'd be right there in your face.
I didn't finish season 2, but season 1 was real dope. So there was this one warrior, and before he had him on him. So before he went into battle, he pop a few in, and then he was enhanced going to town.
What?
But see, it depends on
like mushrooms to
and there's infinite. There's almost infinite species. Mm-hmm. So you have so many that carry. So here's what makes them psychedelic. Mm-hmm. It's the psilocybin that's in some of the species. The psilocybin is what makes them psychedelic. Mm-hmm. But then you have all the ones like you can go out in the woods that you may or may not be able to eat based on like chicken of the woods. You can eat that. Mm-hmm. Now again, I can't just walk up and be like, that's a chicken of the woods. Let me go ahead and get that. The
wizards can though.
Exactly. The wizards know. Me, I didn't get that far.
They might see it and be like, you shall not pass.
Exactly. So I call them my wizards because, they're spiritually in tune. They understand their cultivation of mushrooms is medicine for others. Mm-hmm. They're not doing it just to make money. They're doing it because we want to give alternatives than people going to get medication. Yeah, going to get just supplements all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mushrooms can do many different things. So
do they have an Ozempic? Do they have their own form of Ozempic? A mushroom that I could take.
Of what?
A mushroom that works like Ozempic.
What's Ozempic?
The fat loss drug. The fat loss drug of this.
I mean, there probably is, bro. Like there's a dude I follow. His name's Darren LeBaron, and he's out he's in the UK, a brother from the UK. Uh-huh. And this dude you could say he's a master as well. And
Mushroom
he
master.
constantly posts like articles and stuff. Man, there's people that's made boats out of mushrooms.
Made boats out of
little canoes out of mushrooms. The
So
whole canoe out of a mushroom, dog.
Dang, that's crazy.
Because if you think about those big, have you ever seen a puffball?
I mean, you talking about a mushroom?
It's called a puffball.
I mean, I don't know the names of mushrooms.
I don't know what the scientific. See, that's the thing. I can't give you a whole mushroom.
I mean, I done seen them take different forms.
So yes, so there's tons of different species, So there's one called puffball, and it's like this big round white mushroom, but you can like slice it up, and whether you want to cook it and make it steaks or whatever, but you can like, get it hardened or harden it some way, and you can make stuff out of it. People are making all kinds of stuff out of mushrooms,
puffball mushrooms.
So understand this.
I'm looking.
Understand
the image. I'm in the image. Puffball mushrooms.
When it comes to mushrooms and cannabis or hemp, or there's a reason why the common knowledge isn't there, and we're just getting to it now, because there was a time before industry blew up when everything had hemp in it. Hemp was paper, clothes, everything. Really? All the medicines. We weren't going straight to penicillin and all that. It was natural herbs and stuff.
Well, I may have seen.
So then when you hear about all this herbal medicine and stuff, what do you think of? You think of the East.
Yeah, I think of Dr. Sebi.
There's okay, well that's that's South.
Yeah.
Central America. Okay. But then if you like Far East, ginseng and stuff like that. You're thinking of Asian.
Yeah, that too. I think Asian,
all that. And it's like, well, that's just Eastern medicines. And then we kind of in our mind, we've been conditioned to think like, well, they don't work as good as getting that medicine from the doctor. And
which at this age, I could feel like that's probably marketing. That's probably you saying a lot just because so you could sell me what you got and charge at the
yeah.
it.
Yeah, we've been duped. But see, when they couldn't stop the revolution, that's why they call it the hippie movement back then. Mm-hmm. Because now, you had people out there just tripping and doing whatever, but then you had those who were really actually doing the work with these plants. Yeah. And they were realizing like, look at the Rastafarians. Yeah. They understood the cannabis. They done it. A lot of them evolved past smoking it. They're like, man, y'all years behind. We ain't been smoking. We've been using it as incense, eating it, cooking it, different ways. All this is like we passed smoking. It's like we realized because we're not supposed to be a chimney. So you're right. So when it comes to smoking, if you break down, just take the substance, put the substance to the side, or not substance, but put whatever you want to say substance, then the fake tobacco, because even the fake tobacco, the indigenous people that had rape, which is a tobacco, put all this stuff to the side. We're relationship with fire, the combustion, right, is what, and then the ritual of rolling it up or packing the pipe. There's a whole ritualistic thing. That's why you ask yourself like, Dad, why everybody be on hitting that weed, or just everybody has their way of doing it. And then you get into that place where you sit down. That's why we call it chiefing, because you the high chief and you chilling in the you having a powwow. We all do it. Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's our relationship to fire, but we're not supposed to be chimneys.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course, I don't think that smoking it is the healthiest. Probably it's probably literally the worst way of ingesting.
Exactly. So all in all, with these plants and entities, because I don't consider mushrooms plants, because they're just, as you get more into them, you understand, especially when you explore the psychedelic ones, the ones that they merge with you. It's not like weed where you smoke and you get this high. The mushrooms take you through this. They merge with you in all aspects. So some people liken it to like, no, they're like they're having sex with your being, because you're becoming one with that for whether it's 4 to 8 hours or whatever. Yeah. And or longer, depends on how much you take. So like going back to what you're saying about ayahuasca, same thing. I just don't like, for what I've seen, I haven't been led to go through that process to get there. Yeah. I can get there with mushrooms. And yes, sometimes the mushroom journey, depending on how your vessel is, it may be a little rocky on that ride.
Yeah.
Some people throw up.
Yeah.
Some people like they don't like all that because it's every cell you feel just, and then once you get there, then you start having your experience. Mm. And then in having an experience, you have your peaks and your valleys, and whether you're going through.
So you basically saying it could be like a roller coaster at the beginning when you're going up and it's bumpy and it's clink 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 clink.
It feels like that.
Clink 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 clink.
For me, it feels like, and this is from a microdose, which a microdose would be considered anything under 1 gram.
Yeah.
And for me, under 1 gram, I can do on a regular day, have a meditative hour and a half. To start my day and then go on about my day and my day be enhanced because I've had that connection. I've did breath work. I've merged with the mushroom. I've consciously raised myself. So then
merge with the mycelium.
So then, yeah, that's what it is. So then my rest of my day's enhanced. And, but then if it's over a gram or more, then you need to make space for that.
Right.
So you might need about 4 hours.
Copy that.
Might need about, depending on how much you take. So I've had journeys that lasted 8 hours.
Dang. Were you conscious?
Where you're just under the influence. Yes. Now I haven't had.
Did you eat? Drink? Did you? Were you going to the bathroom in those 8 hours? I mean,
yeah, it depends. Like it's.
So you weren't out of it. You weren't you weren't in the avatar trance.
So here's why. And this is why this goes back to what we were talking about, how our upbringing was good. It's good because we're able to kind of like put a foot in the water. We're kind of like, all right, let me test the water.
Yes.
We have a discipline of like, I'm not going to smoke, we're not going to smoke weed every day and get blowed to where I can't do nothing. We're going to like, it's enough, a few hits. And I've always kind of been that way. Like I take a few hits and I'm good. I don't need to sit there and smoke a whole blunt in a session and then be useless for a while. It's like, I'm good on a few hits, put it down, and I'll come back to it later.
Yeah. So
with mushrooms, I was like, all right, well, let me just kind of tick up little by little. So I may have started with 2 grams and was like, wow, actually, that first experience was like, man, I can feel the music. I've listened to the music.
See, that's the kind of feeling. That's what I be looking for. I'm trying to see what it's like to feel music, to feel colors, to look at the tree and be like, it's so beautiful.
And see, I've never had even
trying to go on a magic trip.
And I've been up to
I might have to talk to the wizards.
You should. I got 2 good ones, man. The 2 I consider them brothers. And
wait. Now let me tell you this. Let me ask. I gotta ask. So when we were on strike, when the writers I'm in the movie business, right? Transportation. I drive, the equipment and stuff. Well, while we were on the writer strike, I was out of work, so I had to Uber, and I Ubered this guy one time, and I had to Uber him to somewhere in the country to go pick up a chicken, 2 doves, and something else. I can't remember. And then we took him to his house, but on the way back to his house, he was telling me about what he was in, and I forgot what religion it was in. But he was going to have to do sacrifices and stuff like that. But this is not those kind of wizards, is it? Because the guy he described seemed like it was he was more like a shaman, maybe.
Okay, so yeah, he was a shaman.
Yeah.
Now I have a brother that's a shaman. I'm going to actually go see him in Vegas. That's who's taking me out in nature for the spring equinox.
Oh, yeah, I ain't finna kill nothing for prosperity, huh?
No, he don't do sacrifices. He does Ifa, and which is
wait a minute, I thought that was what that guy did.
Well, he must be on some other, and I'm not saying that Obajani is opposed to all that. I don't know. Like I'm still getting to know like the depths of what he does, but all right, from what I know, we ain't sacrificing nothing.
Oh, would you be careful if you go up into the mountain and he start tying you down to a table and he take a knife? Say, trust me.
Nah, that can't happen. That's why I always have my stuff on me. So
So speaking of your stuff, you got your stuff on you now. Yeah.
My what?
Your supplement. I seen because I looked on Instagram. You got supplements that you.
Okay. So I guess we can kind of transition to.
It was because my question gonna be: Does it have mycelium and nose?
No.
I mean, that's your stuff. Why you ain't put it in there?
No, because now I do. I would. Okay, let's
back up. Let's back up.
Okay,
Let's back up and say, because this was what I was going to ask. One of the first questions when you came in was, so what do you feel your life's mission is? Your life's goal, your passion, what drives you, what supersedes? What will make you say, and I've learned this in my 40s. I should have learned this and knew this, but that goes back to what we say once you start maturing. And what makes you say, okay, I'm dealing with a girl, or I'm dealing with this work stuff, but let me set this bullshit aside. Let me not let this bullshit affect my mission, because this is my purpose in life. And if they get in the way, I'm going to have to put them aside, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
And see, and that's, I've had to grow to that over time. So like, I guess I can kind of give you a little bit, 2015 to now, that's kind of been this new phase that I've been in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, like the Avengers.
I'm not raising kids no more.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I still was
very
available.
You still always be a daddy.
Always.
Sure. But the hands-on is
then
done.
as they got older, the more my focus has only been on me. And see, I had to learn the hard lessons, even with some of the relationships that I've had, is that, you have something different. And I look at everything that I've done, from being a youth pastor in church, for being a trainer, working the jobs that I've worked. Ever since I was a child, I was always one of those people that were people just tell you stuff. And I'm like, well, why are you people that didn't really care for me like that, but then they felt like they were comfortable enough to tell me like stuff.
Yeah.
And somehow I had some kind of answers, or some kind of like, I can be the wall they can throw the ball off of to where they can get ideas and figure things out. And it's like, well, why is all that? And, and why do I always have something for somebody? Because I don't think it's from me. I feel like it comes through me. One, it comes through me because I got to apply it first.
Yeah.
Then I share it. So my children get it the most. Those closest to me get it the most.
Right.
And it can be hard sometimes. It can be scathing, because it can be hard truths, because as I'm looking at them, they're a mirror of me.
Right.
And these are battles that I have when I'm looking in the mirror myself. It's like, man, you got to tighten up on this. You got to be disciplined. So going back to the purpose, it's almost like, it's hard to say. It's almost like even what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to tap into something higher than this realm. Like we had a lifetime of doing that every Sunday.
Right.
Tapping into something
and
higher
Wednesday.
than this realm. And see, there was a time,
and Fridays.
Exactly. And even when I detached from that structure, I still would go, because I still want to be in communion with people who were chasing something more.
Yep.
That's why I don't shout it down. Just because I detach myself, I don't shout down none of those brothers and sisters that still operate under Christianity or any other faith system, religion system. I'm still a very spiritual being, but I see what a lot of these structures really are.
Right, Wes, and I don't either. I don't either. I probably just buck when it comes to sex and sexuality and stuff like that, because I think they do a piss poor job at communicating, and it's so taboo. For them to talk about that is, again, them skirting the edges of what may be sin and what's not sin, and they would rather just leave it alone. And what I understand, because of course, if you're preaching Jesus, you don't need a nut, you don't need a gender. Yeah, I mean, other than the one being assigned to you, don't need to interact with them.
Whose dogma is this? That's whose.
Well, I mean, I think in general, though. In general, I don't think that you don't need sex, to know Jesus. And if the main message is to preach and proclaim Jesus and God, then you don't really need it. I think then maybe that's what you mean by dogma, because you find some churches and we just preaching Jesus. It's just Jesus and him dying on the cross, and his grace is sufficient, and his death, burial, and resurrection. That's all you need for life. And then you come to them and you be like, well, I'm trying to believe, I need to find a job. And they were like, well, just focus on the cross. And if you just focus on the cross, a job gonna come out of the thin air for you.
That head in the clouds thinking, because then it's like, those same people can go do missionary work in another country or for another group of people, but then they got their own community struggling, and they can apply those same things to their own community. But it's like and then ignore the hypocrisy of the things that they do based on their own rules they put on themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and then some, I mean, and I don't even think those people are wrong. The ones that will focus on, let's focus on our faith where our feet is on the ground, in the practical things that we do. every day,
beings.
day in and day out, and how you handle and deal with people in relationships. And this is how you should be doing, because that is a reflection of Christ. So let's focus on what is a reflection of the thing that no one, or the person and the beings, the ideas that no one can see. Let's focus on that. Now, if they ask for our reason, then we say Jesus, or then we say God. But if we ain't saying that, let's say, how the hell you finna live in this relationship with this other person? How you finna raise these kids? How you finna take care of your family? How you finna be a good friend? How you finna, love your neighbor? How you finna love your coworker, even though they shitting on you at work and talking bad about you? Let's focus on how we can do those things without feeding it on the earth, instead of just living in the clouds and focusing on Christ so hard that, Jesus is really the answer to everything.
I think what helped me is I understood the self work.
Yes, and you touched on that earlier.
And this is kind of goes to part of what will answer the question, the self work. Mm-hmm. See, the thing is,
and that's why I go back now.
I'm not trying to generalize or say anything about anyone.
Yep.
I just always challenge. I've challenged my parents to. I was like, look, me personally, I've grown to really disagree with this westernized Christianity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hear people
because there are things of it, yes, that are of the root, in which it shouldn't be a religion anyway. It's part of a spiritual system that encompasses everything, everybody's stuff, from Islam to everything, and that goes back to the ancient people. Before it started getting spread out and we're changing to this, or we do this, and then it got just more dogmatic over years and generations, and then it's got all these rules and structures, but then we lost the foundational thing of connecting with the what we're on and living on, which is the planet Earth.
Yep.
In this realm, the nature that we're in. If you think about it, what would be the first God? It would be the sun, Ra, because if we're always in darkness, what do we have?
Light.
So then when the sun comes and you're like, oh, all this is here, well, all this life is happening. So that's why they regarded it as what they do. That's why you see the sun depicted in so many ways, from ancient Kemet to all the way through the ancient spiritual systems throughout Africa and all over the world. Because, I believe it was a melanated world. Melanated beings existed in this world before anyone else, because I feel that even our skin tones, when the sun had no pollution on it, there was no industry plaguing it or blocking it, nothing, when it was at its most natural state, our skin probably wasn't dark enough to withstand it. We probably would be getting fried back then.
Yeah.
That's why we hear terms like blue, black, green, black, all that, because the sun reflected those other colors off the black. So, I can get, there's a lot that I've learned over the last several years, which pulled me back from systems and religions, because to me, it comes down to, again, the self-worth. There's nothing wrong with these guidelines for life. There's nothing wrong with that, because we need them. We need to have someone say, like, we need to consider discipline, because we can consume alcohol as much as we want, or we can be on weed all the time, or be taking all these different things to alter us. But if we're not productive for the life that we're trying to build, then I feel like it's counterproductive for our purpose.
And I think that's kind of why I've started going back to church, because on some level I do sense that I need a guide. I need a for self growth. For me to be a better person, for me to be a better person, I need some direction. So that's So
I totally agree with that. So I told my oldest son this. I said, unless you are doing spiritual work on your own, are you getting up? You're having prayer and meditation time?
Yeah.
Are you you're doing this over your family and your children? If you're not, go to church. I said, build your foundation. I said that I don't dismiss how I was brought up. I don't dismiss the time I put in being a youth pastor, taking kids to Christian hip hop concerts, serving with city takers, serving as an urban missionary. I don't dismiss none of that, because that is my spiritual foundation. and it was serving other people doing all this.
Yeah, because I mean, it's because for me, I need that, those ideas that say, hey, stop worrying so much. What are you worrying so much? It's going to work out. Trust that there's somebody bigger than you that's going to handle it, or trust that you're not alone in your struggles, and to give me hope in order to make decisions that I need to make.
Sometimes you just need the brotherhood and sisterhood and like I said,
I don't know about that part, because I'll be going to church and I'm not trying to talk to nobody, because I don't need no brotherhood or sisterhood that wasn't checking
you
for
ain't
me
there.
whenever.
You ain't back there yet.
No, yeah, nah. I'm vocal on that part. I don't want nobody to come and walking up to me trying to talk to me or show me any kind of love that you wasn't showing me when I obviously wasn't here. I don't got, because you're gonna be full of smiles and happiness, like it's so fresh. Okay. Like and I harp on this, but this is like a serious thing for me. I don't want you to come up in my face like you missed me when you had my number the whole time. You know what I'm saying? You didn't text me, you didn't talk to me, and you're gonna say, well, I didn't text and talk to you. Well, whenever I was in church, I was already doing more work of the friendship than you was, my guy. You know what I'm saying? So
see what you're saying right there? And that's where we've taken it's become such a man-made thing that happens.
What?
Because it's clicks. Because you're not the only one. So it's funny. I have several friends that have said exactly what you have said. Yeah. And they're like, well, I ain't never going back. Yeah. But then they're not doing anything else to nourish their spirit. So it's like, well, I'm going to encourage you too, because if you're not going to like really do the nourishing of your spirit yourself or tap into things, because you're still kind of holding certain parameters of ideologies when it comes to your spirituality, but you won't go to church because of the hurt of other men. This mind, body, spirit must be exercised. That is what my business has become. It started off, I was a personal trainer, but Jaw Wellness, that's why Jaw Wellness came to me. It was told to me, this is what your business should be. It was just sups and training at first, because my name's Justin. So it was like just sups and training. That's what I did. I sold supplements and I trained people. Yeah. But then what was happening was, when I was training people, I'm having spiritual experiences, because we're exchanging life. Yeah. It's not just like, oh, we're meeting up, train. All right, that was a great session. Shake it up, dap it up, hug, and then dip. No, they're like, I'm getting stuff from people. They're telling me things.
Yeah, no, I know that.
And then I'm sharing things. Not my whole life, but something even before I even gave the open the door to say, hey, you can tell me what I never do that. Yeah. It just happens. Yeah. So as I was growing spiritually, I started to understand, like, yo, that's just what I'm doing. I'm trying to help you mind, body, and spirit, but it's not me helping you. It's me showing you, because you got to do it. You got to do the work. One of my heroes is Bruce Lee. Yeah. And he was big on honest self-expression.
He was big on the art of fighting without fighting.
The art of fighting without fighting. Yeah. And it's funny. I was telling somebody that quote the other day. I said, you have to understand what is being said here. I said, I've watched and listened to Bruce Lee all my life since I was a child. And even then, something inside of me was some reason them seeds was growing. Like, I understood all the philosophy in his movies, even when I was a child. And then as I got older and I understood more of life, I was like, man, now I really get it. Like, that whole interview, my favorite quote is the be like water quote.
So what is it? Remind me. I feel like I've heard it before. I probably heard it in hip hop, because I'm sure somebody in hip hop doesn't put it as a quote in their stuff.
Nah. I mean, they probably put pieces of it, but he says, empty your mind, be formless, shapeless, like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water in a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. The water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
No, I get.
And you think about that scene, you said the art of fighting without fighting scene. So it's funny, I just did this the other day, broke that whole scene down, and I don't know why, it just came to me. And so you got to remember, before he said that, you had the European dude on the boat. So they're all on the boat going to Hans Island.
Yep.
For the tournament. So, I mean, they going there to fight.
Right.
But the white dude was like, he was messing with the help, kicking their baskets over, pushing them down, nearly throwing some of the, because these are all the little Chinese men, he's the big European dude that can fight. So then Bruce is like chilling on the edge of the boat, just kind of looking out. and he instead of saying any words, he comes up and he flinches at him twice. Bruce looks at him like this. And dude was like, "Do I bother you?" And Bruce was like, "Don't waste yourself." And he's like, "What's your style?" "My style? You call it the art of fighting without fighting." He was like, "The art of fighting without fighting? Show me some of it." See, you saying show me some of it. And Bruce was like, "Later." He turned away. Dude grabs his shoulder. And then Bruce was like, "Well, don't you think we need more room?" He's like, "Where else?" So he pointed at this little island. He's like, "How about that island on the beach? We could take this boat." So it was like this little boat on the side of the big ship.
Right.
He was like, "Okay." Dude gets in the boat. So Bruce, fake like he's about to get in, gets out and starts taking the rope down. The dude's in there. So then all of a sudden he in there by himself. And all this in this little raft. And all the water coming in. He in the ocean. So Bruce hands the rope to the people the other little Asian help. That was messing with, bullying. And they just playing with him. So dude probably was out there getting all wet. He had his suit on and stuff. And Bruce, they all were laughing and all that. So you see how fighting without fighting. So I mean, you're about to go fight anyway. You were on the way to a tournament, but then he was trying to bully and trying to show like intimidate. And then when he gets the tournament, he gets beat by the other dude Roper anyway in the tournament. So Bruce Lee, man, like,
so that's your guy.
That's
funny you say that because one of my first questions, my icebreaker.
No, we went way off because I know I didn't even finish my whole point on purpose and all that.
And we can get back to it. We can get back to it though.
Okay,
well, matter of fact, let's just go back to it because we start on that opener question and we gonna veer off.
Yes, because I'm looking at it. I'm like, I already.
Your boy ain't in there though.
There's somebody missing. Well, no. Actually, no, he's up there. You didn't put his name up there.
The last man standing. So for those that are listening, and you that are watching because you can't see it, I hadn't got I hadn't got that technical with the show yet, though I'm working on it. I got big dreams, big plans. But it says the last man standing. Who would it be out of Jackie Chan, Jet Li, IP Man, and Ong Bak?
So first of all, let's take IP Man off. You need to know, and it's not IP, it's Ip
Man. Okay,
but you need to know his real name. Now see, this is where Hollywood failed.
Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen.
So I'm not going to get into
what's his
all
real
that.
name?
Donnie Yen.
Yeah,
Donnie Yen. Yeah. Donnie Yen should be and it shouldn't have taken all these years till Ip Man. He should have been as well known. He should have carried the torch from Bruce. Donnie Yen is that dude on film and off film. Now Jackie is too. Yeah. Jackie is too. Jet is as well. But see, even as you put on box, see, that's Tony Jaa now. You got to know his name wrong.
So when I posted this to my social media months ago, people was like, you don't even know that's a bad dude. You just don't even know. And then I went to Netflix and tried to find, but he didn't have a lot of stuff on there.
But see, real quick on Tony. Tony, he had a short prime because he dove further into his spirituality, and then he had a family. But he's still after he spent some time building that, and he came back and he's done some stuff. But his prime years, what was that? Them early 2000s, bruh. That Ong Bak 2, the Protector 2. Oh,
I couldn't find none of them on Netflix. Not the Protector, I don't think.
Dude, you better bootleg them. And see, what's funny because this is where the internet helped me find more stuff. So you got to think, this is before social media. We just had the message board. So I would get on martial arts message boards and people start talking about, man, you got to see what Tony Jaa, Ong Bak. So I actually bought it, found them off eBay, and they were not in English or nothing like that. The DVDs. Man, I remember when I watched that first Ong Bak, I was like, what else he got? What else has he got, bruh? His stuff, he took it to another level with and the fact that he stayed true to traditional Muay Thai, but made it his master. So his master was Master Pana, and he passed away. So they made an action style Muay Thai. So then you see how it also went to Malaysia when you think about the Raid. I forget that dude Ego. Have you watched the Raid or the Raid 2? Bruh,
I don't even know if I heard of that before.
Them Indonesians, and you go over to Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand. We only be thinking about Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans doing all the. No, dog. It's all the Filipinos, all because I love martial arts. Yeah. But So his master, now there's only one American that's trained with Tony Jaa's. Well, I say it's one of his masters, Master Pana. Mm-hmm. And his name is Maurice Crump, a brother.
Oh, okay.
See, he was introduced on Protector Part 2. Mm-hmm. And I saw this nigga and I was like, who is this? Got his own swag style. I was like, bro, he about to carry the torch from Wesley Snipes and Michael Jai White. He gonna carry this torch. And but see, it's the wrong era. We're not in that prime martial arts movie era no more. But if we was, it would have been Jim Kelly, Roundtree, and then the ones that didn't get on screen, like the Donnie Sanders, there's so many Negroes out there. Actually, we carried martial arts over here. That's the thing. There's a lot of Negroes. I mean, you can go back to the Mushroom Talk, Baba Kalindi Iyi, rest in peace, from Detroit. Mm-hmm. I mean, did
you take mushrooms and then kick tail or something?
Well, I mean, that's that whole journey. That actually, he was a big part in, and you gotta remember, he was dead when I found him. And let me backtrack real quick, because that's a big one to talk about. Okay. Baba Kalindi Iyi, because that will tie into mushrooms as well.
All right.
But Maurice Crump, though.
And after this, you got to break out your supplements and show us what you're working with, if you plan on doing it.
Yeah, I'll show you the sleep. It's a sleep supplement. It's not nothing like.
Okay,
like
and we'll go back to talking about your purpose.
But it is a major factor.
Yeah.
But so Maurice Crump was introduced in Ombak 2, or no, The Protector 2. So which is one of Tony Jaa's movies. Right. He fought him in there. The RZA was in that movie as well. So I think RZA either executive producer or co-produced or something.
He was fighting in it.
Yeah, and he actually did too. The RZA was the main bad guy.
Oh.
And Maurice worked with him. So Maurice, when I saw that, I started looking. I was like, man, let me look this dude up. So he was from Florida, and the crazy thing was, he had another brother from here that was bringing his system here. His name is Jason Kroom. Shout out to Jason Kroom. He works with a lot of people with fight choreography to this day. He was a professional dancer. Dude just can move, bro. Can move. So I found him, hit him up, like, yo, man, I want to come train. He had me come down to, he used to live, I don't know where he's at now. This was maybe like 2012, 13. I went to his apartment downtown Atlanta, went down there. Man, we trained for like 3 hours. And he was just putting me through all this stuff, like weapons and hands and all this stuff. I'm like, bet. And he's like, yeah, Maurice is going to have me start these classes. We're going to do, he called it Crump Martial Arts. It was KMA. So we started doing that. Then Maurice ended up moving up here. Mm-hmm. So then Maurice was like, well, I'm going to go back to my base system, which is a ninja system called Toshin. Mm-hmm. And so had a school. It was all brothers and sisters mostly.
Oh, dope. That is dope.
All of us in black. And but he was still getting into movies. He's still doing movies now. Mm-hmm. And Maurice, man, after it's just being able to train with him, after watching him in the movie, I'm like, yo, like this dude is for real. Like he's trained wrestlers, like Kofi Kingston and some of them dudes. Okay. He trained Chadwick to prepare him for Black Panther.
Oh, did he?
Maurice did, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Sweet. Shout out to Maurice. He's got a son. His wife is I don't know what her ethnicity is, but she's Asian. Mm-hmm. He has a son, but his son looks like the new Last Dragon. He done grew up, got tall. Last time I seen him was because he stopped the classes in 2020. Like COVID kind of shut everything down. Yeah. And then he focused on his movie career, but he's been training his son since he was little, and his son actually got, because like me and Maurice about the same build, same height, everything. So like when we was working together, it's like, dang man, I look at him and I'm like, if that would have been me, if I stayed on the martial arts journey and just left and did the little kung fu, packed my bag and just went. Yeah. That would have been me. And he got his son that's mixed and taller than him now. Got his little Huey Boondocks afro, but is bruh. Like, so I be following him on social media. Like, yo, man, these dudes. So Maurice was the only one to train with Tony Jaa as the master. So he's trained with Tony Jaa. Mm. He's got that system in him as well, on top of his foundation of this ninja system, Toshin. And he was showing, like, we were taking those classes. So, shout out to them, but yeah, we can get back to all that martial arts stuff. So I know you wanted to.
It's about you, man. So, but back to your passion, and that is
passions. Overall wellness. I do love martial arts. I've always trained martial arts off and on. My thing is that with me being a Libra, you try to balance everything. So I got this crew neck on. Mayat equals balance. This is one of my deities, Mayat. I know you went to Egypt. What was it, last year?
Yeah, but a couple years ago.
Have you ever heard of the 42 laws or the 42 principles of Mayat?
Maybe.
So you see, so you realize the 10 commandments came out of that, out of those 42. The 10 came from those 42. And Mayat is the balance of masculine and feminine energy. It's the balance of life, cosmic energy, the divine feminine, the triple blackness of space, all that. So that is, aligned with my, what would you call it? Me being a Libra is my what's the word we call that?
Sign?
Yeah, my sign. But what's the other word we call those?
Your okay, now I'm trying to. Your zodiac.
My zodiac, yes. Mayat is one of my deities.
Okay.
Well,
zodiac. See, now that brings me to another thing, and now we're finna get back off of your purpose. But your purpose is, say it again, because you said it already.
I feel like it is
health and wealth.
I feel like my purpose is to show the journey to self-mastery.
Okay.
Because that is what I am trying to do, and I'm not saying that I am
that you're a master of self
by any stretch. Because if I look at my heroes, that's what they were on. Bruce Lee was on that. Kobe Bryant was on that. Black Panther was on that. Kobe's one of my heroes, absolutely.
What about Steph Curry? Could Steph Curry be one of your heroes? What about LeBron?
Not one of my personal heroes, but I respect, love what they do.
I'm just talking about basketball.
But as basketball is one of my things. So my favorite player, my GOAT, is Kobe Bean Bryant.
How? When you my age?
Because he was 2 years older than us.
Yeah, but you was around. Yeah.
Because when you think about it, look.
Why not Jordan?
Now it was Jordan.
Oh, okay.
And Jordan always, because I mean my room growing up, Jordan all over, but then when you see a kid that's only a couple years older than you,
okay, because you can't relate to, you really can't relate to Jordan, but you can relate to Kobe.
You can't, because that was like the hero, like Mike. You know what I mean? Everything, shoes, how he played.
But Kobe was your age.
So Kobe was like us too. Like Mike and all that, but Kobe was the one that was able to manifest what we all dream. Like, man, I want to get to the NBA.
It was more relatable.
I want to go to the NBA and play
Mike
like Jordan.
was the goal, but Kobe,
he was the only one that could do it.
Yeah,
that was able to physically do it. We all can dream it, do it on the game.
Like Kobe might have been your bunkmate looking at the Jordan poster, but he took it all the way
and did all the work to do it.
Yeah.
And if you understand the Mamba mentality in his journey and the sacrifices that he made, and then even just the discipline once he had family and everything too, the discipline to be able to be 100% present for wife and children, but then 100% present for team and sport and the game itself.
Yeah, I mean, but I think too, when you be that good, it takes a strong woman. A woman who really finna take a lot, because you're really finna live like a selfish life. I mean, once you realize the amount of effort it takes to be successful at anything, something is getting neglected. Some bodies are getting neglected.
Some did. Now I'm not gonna say that all athletes. Now there's a lot of athletes that they'll tell you I sacrifice. I needed a strong woman to accept. But see, Kobe found ways to give them enough. There was no I'm taken away from you so I can do this. No, he found ways. So you know how we all know how he passed, right? The helicopter crash. So you know the reason why he started riding the helicopter?
Well, because probably kill time, because he was going with his daughter to somewhere.
It was so he can get to the state, because he was gonna get there early. But he instead of him driving that traffic, that's a waste of time. This dude was a master of I want to make sure that I'm not missing nothing from my kids at school. I know I got to be here, so I'm gonna take the helicopter.
Yeah, but I'm because by that time you've already made it. I'm saying the journey to get there. Like with me and this podcasting thing, in order for me to get to see the success that I would like to see, or a top podcaster type success, it's going to take hours. Yeah, I'm talking about. Now I'm not talking about after you put in the 10,000 hours. I'm talking about to get them 10,000 hours in. You sacrificing. For a gym, for a bodybuilder, in order before he goes to train, and that one will relate for you. If a bodybuilder to enter into a show, bro, that's 3 days. That's 3 times a day you in the gym. You know what I'm saying? And you in the gym 3 times a day. There's no way, unless you don't have a job or you create. Yeah, well, there's no way to bring in an income and go to the gym 3 times a day. If you got a family, she's doing some of the work to take care. Unless you done work, and now in the social media days, it's easy because now you can build a business, an internet business that's going to help you, and so now you don't have to have no physical job, because that's literally kind of what I'm working on, as far as I'm trying to bring in internet money, so what I don't got to go out here and interact with nobody if I don't want to. I can travel literally and still make money because I make mines online. But unless you got that, your wife working to help pay the bills. And then if y'all got kids, she taking care of the kids too, because you are literally going to the gym 3 times a day.
Now you got to remember, like, so this is why Kobe's story is,
if you finna make this a thing, then I hope he got an autobiography out, because I would like to read it then, so I can be like, how this nigga? Dang.
He's got the book, Mama Mentality. So listen, this is why he was the athlete's athlete, because it wasn't about the accomplishments and how well he played, but I think it was that he made time and was present enough for everything. So you got to remember, him and Vanessa met. He was a young pro, but Vanessa, she was there for the whole ride, had children. Of course, it was probably work to balance that with her and everything, but him. This is where I feel that his career was kind of, and the injuries came late, because I feel like he didn't recover enough. I feel like he didn't rest enough. That's the only thing I would say, because if that meant that I'm going to get 2 or 3 hours of sleep at night, and this is after him settling down from, maybe being upset with a loss or how he played or whatever, settling down, maybe not like, all right, well, I can't be on film, watching film this much in preparation for tomorrow night or the next night, my sleep's going to get cut. But he wouldn't sacrifice time with family for that. The time with family was still going to happen.
We really talking about your hero right now.
The girls was going to happen. Yeah, man.
We really talking about because you definitely going hard for him right now.
But yeah.
And I'm not even saying to be negative, to saying like he had to drop the ball. I'm just saying, obviously, from my standpoint, you go that hard to be that good, somebody paying the cost. And it could have been, because you right now, what you saying is paying the cost is him.
And it was. It was.
That is a valid point.
And that was the same thing with Bruce Lee.
Okay.
He paid the cost. So when they were being, when Hollywood was being racist to him and promising him kung fu, but then they ended up giving it to David Carradine, they were banking on that. He was in California, and he was like, all right, he went from Seattle to California. Him and Linda were married. They got Brandon. I think Shannon might have been there, was born as well. And they were banking on this series, because he had the Green Hornet, but he was just a sidekick. He was going to lead kung fu. Hollywood was like, oh, we don't think, the Asian, and he was on, the other shows, and he was able to implement his philosophy with the arts. He wasn't just coming in, but they were like, how his English was and how he was able to express what he was giving us.
They weren't ready for that.
They was like, well, we don't know. So then they give it to the white dude, David Carradine, and make him be Asian, tell us he was Asian. And so then Bruce had to go back to China. That's when he had to go over there. So when he goes over there, he realizes that he is a hero. And they were like willing to do anything for him over there. And that's when he was able to build his foundation, did some movies. He's still able to live here. He starts training people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and other celebrities. Starts training competitive fighters as well. And not really training them, is like, he was more enhancing what they already can do. You see what I'm saying? Why what I feel my purpose is to show you so you can enhance you. That is the self-work.
Yeah. No, I get you.
And that's what the mama mentality is. It's like, look, I got to do the same repetitions as you do. It just didn't all come, and I can hit threes from whatever and do all this stuff. I had to do everything. And you got to think, Kobe wasn't the most gifted athlete. If you compare him to his body type to other, like Vince Carter and Jordans and stuff, he didn't have the hand size, the length of the arm and stuff. He had to develop a lot of that. So then when you look at it, you're like, but he's able to do everything. Yeah. But he had to do the extra work, where some of these people just naturally can do stuff.
That's your guy. Absolutely. How many Kobe jerseys you got?
I just got the Lower Marion High School, and I kept that one.
Oh yeah.
I kept the Lower Marion High School one.
So then you had others and you got rid of them?
Yeah, I've had like over the years. I've had like
and you got rid of them?
Some Laker jerseys. Yeah, because either they.
Did you wear them out?
I didn't wear them to play. I didn't wear mine to play in and all that. I just think I
never seen you with a jersey on. I don't think.
I don't know what it was, because I know over the years I've had the yellow jersey at least.
Did you sell them?
I might have.
Yeah,
I might have.
Hey, listen, all right. Listen. Money is the motive.
Is either that or they got messed up. I mean, I used to have basketball cards too. I collected basketball cards.
I miss those. I used to have some stuff that I'm sure is pretty
stolen, bro.
Dream Team cards, all that.
Mine got stolen.
God, dang. I don't know what happened to mine.
See, I had a. So the only binder that mattered the most to me, it had Jordan and Kobe cards, and I collected those since middle school through about sophomore year in high school.
That was me.
About sophomore years of high school, that's when the game changed, and packs was like $6 and stuff. Remember when the packs was like $1 or $2?
Yep.
That's when you was like building and you trading with friends and all that.
Yep.
Then when they jumped to like $4 or $5, I was like, all right, I'm done.
I want to say I probably was still messing with them. They had a card store in my small town.
Mine too.
Man,
mine too.
God,
but I stopped then because I was
days.
like, nah. But see, that was still past rookie Kobe. So I had rookies and stuff.
Dang,
but I had some good Jordan cards too as well.
Me too.
But then, when I moved here, so like when we moved here, we had an apartment.
I started about 4 or 5 years ago. I started going back and started buying cards again. I just couldn't do it.
It's a different world, bro.
I bought, yeah.
It's a different world. Because now you got to have a piece of the court, piece of the jersey. It's got to be signed and all this. Man, it's wild, bro.
So, what was I going to ask you about that? So, because this is kind of jumbled up, but is there something that I actually wanted you to address? And that was question number 8. What was it that got you? Why did you get out of church? What was it that made you say, okay, I got to stop with this. I'm finna have to pivot.
It wasn't really a
Oh, you just got lazy and stopped going.
I wasn't really I got to stop going. No, because even when I was evolving my consciousness and it was growing, I still went because so like the last church.
Even when you didn't believe you was still going, that would have been hard for me.
It wasn't about.
It was a waste of time.
Here's the thing. It's not about the belief of the same essential things. I don't think it's about that. See, that's where the click stuff happens because they feel that is the most important, the essentials: death, burial, resurrection. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is God in the flesh. Jesus is the only way.
I mean, but in that religion, it is. That's the hit. That's the linchpin to everything.
Exactly. But then, what do you say to people with Islam? What do you say to the Hindus? What do you say to the Buddhists?
I always wondered that too. It's crazy.
What do you say to these other faith systems?
I mean, you're gonna have to say they're going to hell if they don't accept
which is wild to me because it's like, okay, you say you love everybody.
I mean, yeah,
but there's conditions to that.
I mean, that's understandable. Just like it's understandable, I can love a drug addict. I mean, and I do what I can to help you, and try to help you get off of that path. But if you refuse to, I'm still gonna love you, but I'm finna let you walk that path.
But that's a drug addict compared to somebody who's in another faith system that believes that they are, and especially so I had a so the last time I hung with a group of Christians, I was invited to go with some guys that knew me because they went to Victory World. I used to serve at Victory North. Yeah. And I've watched a few UFC fight nights with some of those guys. So I got invited. This was in 2019. Got invited to go watch UFC. That was the last time UFC came here to Atlanta. They only came here twice. I went both times. Okay. And that last time Israel Adesanya fought. So I got to see right when he became the number 1 contender. He won that night, became the number 1 contender to go for the belt. Yeah. And so I went with a group, and it was interesting. So before the fights, we were sitting down, and there was a group. So, of course, I knew like a couple of them, but I didn't know a lot of them. So, looking on the outside, you're thinking like, oh, well, some of them may not be as like every, be a little bit different. Yeah. So I sat next to a dude. I'm thinking like, we're just going to be talking about just shooting the shit. You know what I'm saying? And well, he started getting all into like why he's backed up. And then it just went into this whole thing of how church is and
backed up
he
sexually or backed up.
He kind of backed away from going to church as much.
Backed up from the church.
Backed up from going as much.
Number two.
Nah, so he backed. Well, he backed up from going to church as much and serving because he was in a place of like he was kind of figuring stuff out. So I don't know. Again, once again, I didn't know this dude. I never had a conversation with this dude before, but he felt that he can just lay all this on me right before fights start to where, I mean, he talking loud and there's people all around and he's like explaining. But then as we got talking, it almost got to where he was trying to convince himself to still believe in the same things. Okay. I wasn't disagreeing with nothing. I was just giving him my thoughts from where I was at that time in 2019.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, again, like, you know, what do you say to these other groups? What do you say to a monk who spends most of his day in prayer, who fasts, whose body is clear, so he's taking care of the physical.
Yeah.
The mental is clear. There's no temptation. He don't even position himself to be tempted in all these things. And then the spiritual, he is in constant chase and connection with God. But it's not your way.
Yeah.
What do you say to that? I say, you're sitting here, we're drinking beer and all this. It's like, how can you?
And that guy living a way more clean life than you is.
I said, I can't say anything.
You really can't.
It's like, I'm going to tell him he's not, you know what I'm saying?
Because he living way more right. All he got to do is say Jesus is Lord. And if God was giving folks rewards according to how focused and dedicated they were, all he would have to do is say, I believe in Jesus. And he finna get way
See, I don't even think
that
ain't it either. He ain't got to be this.
Jesus stuff. The only thing I'm saying then is who's probably living a better, more focused, dedicated, right life? That guy.
Just based on the human.
Yeah.
Just based on the being.
Yeah.
And it's like, so for him to be correct, he has to say Jesus is Lord. And Jesus is the only way in all this. So he probably keeping all the commandments. After doing all that, he don't even believe Jesus, but he keeping all the commandments. He doing all that, but he's not. But he's off, and he's and that's where that and see those moments like that.
Yeah,
allow me to kind of like internalize and be like, yo.
Yeah,
I was under this for years.
Yeah, man, because even the monk, that guy, he has to have sin imputed to meaning we all had to have it given to us. I mean, you could, at the end of the day, you know, when you look through the lens of the Bible, then you say, well, he probably sinned somewhere in his thoughts and it's still making him unclean. But from the outside, without Bible glasses on, you'll be like, dang, sin got to be put on this guy because he's not sinning at all.
He ain't even in position. Unless you going to say, so we're making assumptions that in his own time he's doing all this stuff that we can't see.
In order to proselytize, that's the first thing they're gonna tell you to do. First, you got to show people that they breaking the law, and then you got to tell them that there's a need for somebody to come through. And it's like, and who are we to make these assumptions when we outright doing stuff that we're assuming he's doing stuff, but we're outright doing what we're assuming he's doing. But then gonna tell him he needs Jesus.
Exactly. So see, moments like that have happened to me often. And it made me realize, like, yo. And then also on top of that, as I kept going further, listening to more lectures of other master teachers, especially in our community, and you realize the systemic structure of these faith systems. Yeah. When it comes to control and colonization, and within industry and structure of society, within the matrix period, these things are about control. That's why I'm about doing the self work. That's what Bruce Lee was about. That's why he was like the self work. That's why he didn't claim a system. He could have claimed what is their faith systems over there in China. He could have claimed what
Hinduism is it Hindu?
Yeah, he didn't claim none of that. He studied Krishnamurti. He studied Krishnamurti because Krishnamurti was speaking out of what is he from? What was he, Indian?
I was about to say, ain't that Krishna is Indian. But
Buddhism. But see, even in that,
Asian,
he was Krishnamurti wasn't like dogmatic about that because he understood the knowledge of self. And see, we've been deterred from that because it's like, well, no, because you can't do anything for yourself without a savior to come and wash you clean and elevate you. But it's like, okay, did all this professing. We've washed ourselves ritualistically, which we don't want to call it rituals in these buildings. We don't want to call them rituals. We don't want to use terms that are in the scriptures. The chakra systems are in the scriptures. Pineal gland is in the scriptures. We don't want to say metaphorical because we got to realize who gave us the way we study this Bible, especially here.
You finna say the white man? Especially what, Hebrew?
Especially here in this place. How do we get it?
You say the white man. The white man. You're gonna say the white man.
And why was it changed that way? So who was taking the Bibles all over the world?
And that would be the white man.
Why you ever watch The Last Samurai? I was talking about this the other day too with somebody. I was like, you watched The Last Samurai? Uh-huh. So I remember. So this is funny. When it came out, I loved it. I loved it when it came out. But then as I got older and I realized what it was, I was like, this is a story of the victory of colonization. And The Last Samurai happens to be Tom motherfucking Cruise.
I mean, it was the white man. He was.
And then we sit here, and then we're like, oh, well, at least he sympathized with the traditional way and he learned their way and understood. But then he still allowed the crackers to come in and colonize the other Japanese who were the kings and warlords. And then they come in wearing the suits and stuff. Well, you need to make sure you get rid of the samurai because they don't want to come to the way of. And then what do they use?
I don't remember.
Samurai. Remember the samurais had the swords and they went to war. They brought the guns and lined them up. Let the white dudes come in with the guns and all this and mow down their old people. Because they didn't want to conform to a new society in Japan. Yeah. So I mean, there's some other things I want to say, but I don't want to. Yeah, we I don't want to. Question left. Yeah, because I don't want to.
It's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, that it is.
We can do it.
Yeah, we want to do another episode.
Conversation. So then you say that. So that guy in that conversation at that get together, is that kind of what led to you backing away?
Many of those, and it wasn't. It was more of like. Because again, you gotta remember, I would still go to, so when I left Victory, and I would still go back and visit, but then what you said, what you said, why you don't want nobody to, I just want to go there, I don't want to hear from nobody and all this and that.
Yeah,
that's what was happening when I would go visit. Brother, you can come. There was nothing wrong. I wasn't doing nothing wrong.
Yeah,
they were assuming stuff was wrong
because you wasn't there.
I wasn't there no more. They were assuming that.
Oh well, no. For me though, it wasn't no assumption. I'm out here. Yeah, I'm doing whatever I want to do, and it may not.
But it ain't wrong. What's wrong?
So right. So from inside the church, it may be wrong, but I didn't. I mean, and so they would probably distance it, and that's probably maybe why they didn't hit me up because they was like, oh, he out here on some sin. But that comes to me. That's a whole different way of. That's a whole different. That's still, in my opinion, a wrong way to view your relationships.
Your people is your people.
Right. Because if you my friend, I don't care if you believe what I believe or not. I don't care if you believe that Jesus is God or Jesus was a dirtbag or a douchebag. I don't care. To me, he God. When I get with you, we gonna talk and have fun over the stuff we talk and have fun about. If all those things is just Jesus, then I guess we don't have no friendship.
He ain't God to me, my nigga.
You know what I'm saying? But if we like video games, if we like comic books, if we like hip hop, if we like whatever those things that we built our relationship on, that relationship should maintain whether I'm in church with you or outside of church. We can still have fun on those things. Now, we might not discuss God, or we may, depending on how we feel and who want to hear from who or whatnot, because sometimes you may not want to hear me talk about, whatever I might talk about. Being outside the church, and I'm going to tell you that sometimes I'm not going to want to hear what you got to talk about when you talk about the Lord, because I'm not trying to talk about him right now. I don't want to hear that. I got times when I talk to him and when I think to him and think about him, but right now I'm trying to talk about the game or a video game, or I'm trying to talk about this, that, or a third. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of stuff. When it comes to that, if you my friend, you my friend, regardless of what, I don't judge you. And I don't expect that you should be judging me, regardless of where you find me. Because if we're friends, I got folks right now that I'm friends with that are inside the church, and we share things that are common. Then that's not Jesus, and we still remain to be, and we still can hold a friendship.
That's just a part of you.
Right.
So like even when I did wear the Christian helmet, that was a part of me.
But then I think too though, because and you too probably, correct me if I'm wrong, is because, and I'm sorry if I cut you off, but because you're a people person. So God may encompass your whole life, but a big chunk of my life and possibly yours too is that I'm a people person. So I'm not fixing to cut people off because they don't believe in God, because God is my whole life, but I still love people at the end of the day. I like people,
that is just
and they find them interesting.
That is just a religion. You tap into the souls of the being.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Because at the end of the day, I want to make the connection.
That is what we were created to do. That is what Jaw Wellness is about.
And that's what my purpose as well is. I asked you about yours, but yes, mine is
to tap into the soul of the being. And
get you to be self-aware.
And it's right there in their book. Be all things to all men.
Yeah.
You somebody.
Yeah, and they main guy was doing it. He was Greek to the Greek, Romans to the Romans.
I've done plenty of mission work, whether it's out here in the streets of Atlanta, whether it's in suburbs, even outside of this country. And it's like, if you don't know how to just talk to people, if you're already going in like, oh, well, they need to know there's something wrong. They need to know what we know, this truth and all. And here's the thing, we'll get off the Christian stuff. As I've gotten to other communities, spiritual communities, we still do the same thing, because that is part of the matrix. We are still controlled and conditioned to be like, well, there has to be a certain way to do things.
Yeah.
I've been in higher conscious communities and you still have the same misogyny. It's like, bro, you understand the higher being of the black woman, but you still misogynistic, nigga. you still, your ego is off the chain, and you've been taking mushrooms and you've been having powwows, going on all these journeys. You could tell all these stories, and you're
supposed to be free
like,
out here.
Like, bro, like, so that's where it's like the self-work, because I went from one spiritual community or clique, whatever, and then to others, and to this one, and we're all doing the same human things, bro. Same human things.
Yep. That's why I think, that's why I'm with you. My mission is self-awareness, to get people to understand, to know yourself, and to live your life, to be happy, and to learn to live with others and learn to work your stuff out. But I mean, I'm still at the beginning of it for me, though. I may have been on it the whole time. But yeah, the last question, and we're gonna wrap this thing up, is a little more like a lighter subject.
Yes.
Video games.
Yes.
What you out here playing?
So currently right now playing Tekken 8.
Yeah.
Fighting game. Been a Tekken fan for years. Of course, I love Mortal Kombat as well. But right now that's the main thing I'm playing. I was playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes, sir.
Tsushima. That was one of the greatest games of all time.
Boy. Visually, boy.
God of War.
Sir. Yep.
God of War has been my stuff for, man, all of them. But yeah, right now Tekken is what I'm on. I got a homeboy, Justin, that I play those games with. White Justin. Shout out.
White Justin.
And
shout out White Justin. What up, White Justin?
It's funny because in my life, as much as I, because we can, like you said, we could have a whole nother podcast on certain things.
And we will.
But my life,
it's been good conversation.
My life, it's easy to kind of get, because of decisions you made or how you move, to have biases. And biases don't mean it takes away from truth.
Yeah.
The truth is still going to be the truth. So I'm still going to be very pro-black, pro-melanin, pro-ancient, if you want to just say African, but I feel like pro-cosmic, pro things that aren't,
Let me ask you this. This is a brief thought, because and it's sudden, because this is nothing I've been thinking on a long time. Is it racist for the white man to do that?
No,
be pro-white.
Because here's the thing. See, this is where the fragility comes in. Nobody's trying to take away and dismiss that history is here. We can't take that away. Like my daughter went to Rome so the year before we went to Morocco in 21, she got to go to Rome.
Yeah.
With Valentino. They took her out to Rome. So she was seeing she was telling me how all these paintings she was seeing. And all the paintings, the melanated people were always in servitude positions. But I was like, listen, those were changed, because before that, Victorian London, it was the opposite. The Moors helped build that. The Moors taught how to be clean and cleanliness. The Moors brought in systems of how do you get rid of your waste instead of just dumping your poop out. And that's why umbrellas were made, so shit's not falling on your head.
Right.
Not having just rats and everything everywhere. Black people were involved in the evolution of everything.
Uh-huh.
That's not taken away from their 6,000 to 10,000 year history of their existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we have millions of years of existence of melanated people or just whether it's light beings or fire beings or earth beings. Before we even got to the flesh and blood, there were beings that existed in this realm.
All right, but that's gonna be a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, no, they should. It's not, and that's where it's like, let them have it, because they've had how many presidents we've had. This country's been ran and developed. Europe, how Europe was, Leopold, they've had that. They've conquered.
Yeah,
many.
I see what you're saying.
So it's like nobody's trying to take that away, but it's like what we're not going to do is
bury you're not going to bury our contributions.
Just because you broke the noses off.
Yeah.
And changed the lips and then depict everybody white in all these ancient things in movies and stuff.
Right.
No, we ain't gonna sit here and lie.
Right, right. Let's tell the whole truth. We're not trying to erase y'all's. We really just trying to stop y'all from erasing ours. We had a contribution. Stop ignoring and overlooking or erasing our contribution to make it seem like y'all did everything, because you didn't do everything. It was a group project.
Everybody wasn't here in the beginning.
Stop turning in the paper like you did the whole thing by yourself, sir. You didn't do the whole thing by yourself.
See,
I get it.
There's just cycles. There's cycles, and we'll close that thought with understand there is cycles, and we're still in the white man cycle, because everywhere dominance and prominence, control of the money, control of business, control of weaponry, industry, armies. Yeah, who has standing armies?
Yeah,
who has control of everything? Mostly. White people.
Yeah. Now listen, I mean, so yeah, now and to be honest with you, I mean, you probably can see that in just America, how it's cyclistic, and then not only that, you can see, at least from Atlanta, how it may be on its way to changing. I mean, and I only say that because with the Mexicans being below the border and blacks, coming up, before it's over with, let the clock keep running. And it's going to switch. It's going to switch just because, and this is I ain't trying to be racist when I say it, but the white man's going to get overrun eventually, in my mind, by color.
See, it may not even be colors.
And I don't mean color. Bro. I mean black and brown. I mean everything besides white.
Yeah, and see, and it may not even be male. Female, it's gonna be all this hybrid stuff.
Oh, Lord.
And that's
a whole nother episode.
So, yeah, exactly. That's why everybody's trying to fearmonger what's the change. Episode. But it's like, look, just focus on you and yourself. Yeah, that's true. Your self mastery.
Yep.
Understand your place. What are your higher beings that you tap into aside self? What are your deities? What are your ancestors? Your ancient lineage? Because it's more than just flesh and blood.
Right.
So.
Yep.
But yeah, man. I mean, video games. Yeah, we kind of went back to that because that's a big topic, and it can.
But this is where you at right now.
It is. It goes so many places.
That's why I had you on.
But I've always had in my life. There's been points in my life where I had a white Justin as a friend. I don't know why that is, but I feel like it was to show a mirror of me. So there's no way you're ever going to be able to become, that hyper Umar type. To where you have this, disregard.
Shout out to Umar Johnson for the entertainment.
Shout out to him, love him.
For the entertainment.
I have love for him, but it's like he has to understand, when you're trying to jump on other brothers and sisters who've made choices of choosing people outside of their race to be with or have children, you have to understand that not everybody chose consciously.
Yeah.
A lot of it was proximity. A lot of it was conditioning and structure, but then also the conditioning of what we see and what we were told.
Yeah.
So that's again, see how it just will keep going and we will never stop.
Well, we'll come back and we'll do it again, man.
Yeah, but one more thing, let me show you my because I do want to give you samples.
Okay.
As well. Mm-hmm. So this is my single serving. This is my sleep tea.
Oh, okay.
It is 9 herbs. It's called Rest, Recovery, and Realign.
All right, Rest, Recovery, Realign. I'm gonna try to put that in there.
I got this came to me because last year I was just trying to recover better from my training. I was like, man, is it age? What's going on? Do I need to get better on my diet? All this. I just was waking up, body feeling whack. So I was like, I need to sleep better. And this is going to be a whole nother discussion as well, because when it gets to dreams and sleep quality and stuff like that, start doing a lot of research. So start just doing tea, just getting raw herbs, mixing them up, steeping them in tea, drinking it before bed.
Yeah.
And these 9, it kind of formulates 9 ingredients. So I got 3 herbs that help induce and relax you, to kind of ease you to want to sleep, because a lot of people have problems just even getting to sleep.
Yeah.
I have 3 herbs on the next tier. It's going to help you sustain sleep, because a lot of people have problems sustaining sleep. And then I have 3 herbs that help you go deeper. That's going to support getting to that REM stage and trying to stay in that REM stage so you can get complete rest.
Okay.
And actually dream.
Thank you.
So yeah, it'll give you.
It's gonna be some good dreams.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what's going on.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, my dreams are more profound when I don't smoke weed. Weed
so it's just 3. It's the same thing.
Yeah, just
3 samples.
3 samples,
Okay,
and,
cool.
and you can steep those at least 3 times each. Yeah. So the herbs,
I can use them 3 times.
Yeah.
Each.
So I sell them. I got my TikTok shop is up.
No, tell them how to get to the TikTok shop, because in a minute it's gonna run out of room on my SD card. That's why I keep looking back, and I gotta be.
Yeah.
How can they reach you?
You can. I'll just give you the link where you could just post it up there on the podcast.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're not gonna say it because it's audible too, so they're gonna listen to this on the podcast.
I think it's I'm trying to remember the name. I can't remember my own TikTok name for it, because I got a personal TikTok.
Or send them to your Instagram. There's not a link from your Instagram to your TikTok.
So right now I only have the TikTok shop as the store where you can purchase, but you can purchase from me individually as well. But the TikTok shop, I'd got them for $24 for a pack of 9. You get 9 tea bags.
All right.
So technically it's really 27 servings, because 1 tea bag you could steep at least 3 times.
All right. Well, shoot me the link, and then I'll try to add it in at the end of the show.
Cool.
But yeah, man, it's been good having you, my boy.
Man, it was great.
It's been a good show, man. Yeah. We definitely come back. We're gonna do it again. We can talk about these beings that existed before we were flesh and blood, and we can jump on some teching.
Absolutely, yeah. I can get into some of these books and things that I've been reading and studying, and we can get on the teching for sure.
Thanks for coming too, and thank you guys for listening or watching or both of Just Hear Me Out podcast.
Yes.
Deuces.
Just Hear Me Out podcast with Snacks and Big Flav. Not a tongue bitten and always worth a listen. Weekly on your favorite platform.